Hello students, good morning to all of you. Well, yesterday we have been done the natural fibers and their Use, okay? So today we will discuss about synthetic fibers. So first synthetic fiber is here wool. Wool is obtained from the fleece of animals like the sheep as well as from the hair of other animals like goats, rabbits, camels, and yeah. So special clippers are used to remove the fleece along with a thin layer of skin from the sheep. This process is called shearing. The fleece is then washed to remove any grease or dust stuck to it through a process called scoring. Once cleaned, the fibers are sorted, that means according to their texture, dyed, strained, straightened, and finally spun into yarn. So we can say that as similar cotton fiber, wool is also cleaned, then fibers are sorted as well as dyed and finally spun into yarn. Here, use of wool. Wool is used to make woolen clothes, woolen clothing items like sweaters, socks, shawls, gloves, etc. Okay. Second, upholstery and carpets, shoes, etc. Next type of synthetic fiber is silk. Silk is an expensive, very expensive, that means costly, animal fiber produced by silkworms as a building material for their cocoons. The rearing of silkworms to obtain silk from their cocoons is called silk farming or sericulture. The silkworm feeds on mulberry leaves. It forms a cocoon by secreting a long continuous fiber or filament around 800 meters long around itself. The cocoons are immersed. The cocoons are immersed in boiling water to kill the worm and the fiber is unwound. Several fibers are then twisted together to form yarn. So here we see that silkworm is the main source of silk and several fibers are then twisted together to form yarn. In this way, we see here the synthetic fibers, wool and silk. Wool is obtained from animals and silk is also obtained from animals. So both are the fibers that are produced that are obtained from animals. Now next topic we will see making of fabric. How to making fabric. We will now learn about how yarn is converted into fabric. So for this we have to discuss different methods like weaving, knitting, whatever. So first method is weaving. What is weaving? The process through which two sets of yarn are entwined or interlaced together to form a fabric is called weaving. Here you have given an activity. So please you will read this activity and try to understand the process, the method weaving. Okay. The two sets of yarn need to cross each other at right angles. The yarn that runs lengthwise is called warp, while weft, that means filler, is the yarn that crosses over. You can see here, this is woven fabric, this is called warp, and this is called weft. The yarn that runs lengthwise is called warp, lengthwise is called warp, while filler is called weft. Okay. The way in which the yarn are woven or interlace each other determines the weave of the fabric. Weaving is done by machines called looms, which can either be operated by hand or by power looms. The loom is either plain or with decorative designs. Once the fabric is woven, it is the bleached and dyed. You can see here. This is the another method, knitting. So, unlike weaving, knitting is a process in which a fabric is made from a single long continuous yarn. The process involves forming loops called stitches with the yarn and then drawing new loops through the previously formed loops. So, the second method is knitting. Knitting is also the process in which a fabric is made from a single long continuous yarn. Okay. So we can say that it is like connecting the loops, interlooping. Hand knitting is done with the help of knitting needles. Knitting can also be done on machines like sweaters, socks, mufflers, caps, and many other items of our clothing are all made by knitting. Okay. Now here another point is blended fabrics. Blended fabric means I hope you all have been seen that this type of fabric like terry wool, polyester, terrycoat. Okay. So sometimes two fibers are mixed together to create yarns and fabrics with qualities of both fibers. These are blended fabrics. These are blended. Why? Because here two fibers are mixed together. The blended fabrics have unique properties. They look better, are more comfortable, and are more lasting. Examples of blended fabrics are terracotta, terry wool, and polyester, cotton blends, etc. Now you have given here some advantages and disadvantages of different fabrics. So guys, please you will see these points, these advantages and disadvantages of different fabrics like cotton. This is the advantage and disadvantage. Linen, jute, wool, whatever. So please you all have to read these advantages and disadvantages and learn well. Okay guys, I hope you will understand this speak and write all the difficult words from this lesson and learn by heart. Okay, that's all. Thank you.